Hey everybody, I want to show you guys what I do for making my crackers, and this is a version that I've come up with. There's a lot of people that have like the flaxseed kind of crackers, and those are pretty good, but I wanted to try something different, so I decided to come up with something that's a little bit more spicy for me and had a different texture to it. Now what I did was, the almond pulp that I get after I make my almond milk, I save it, okay? So what I'm doing here is I got 1.5 cups of almond pulp, and as you can see, it's pretty, it sticks, you know, so it's a good thing to work with. Now the ingredients for this is 1.5 cups of almond pulp. Then I have fresh organic red peppers, big size, about 1.5. If they're too medium sized, then about 2. Just a FYI, make sure if you got organic peppers, red peppers, to save the seeds if you're into gardening. Also, I have fresh grounded tomatoes. Okay, now I separated them out a little bit so you can actually see, but I'm actually going to grind this up so you can know exactly what I'm doing. But these tomatoes we actually picked from our own garden, and we put them in a dehydrator, and I have bags of this stuff because I grew a lot of tomatoes last summer. So I'm going to grind this up into a powder, as you can see here. And then we have a teaspoon of crushed red pepper, which I'm going to also grind. And then we have also about 3/4 of a cup of raw pumpkin seeds. And as you can see, this is already grounded, but I just wanted to show you exactly what I do and how I grind them. Also over here, we have 2 teaspoons of salt, and then that's actually Celtic salt, and then 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder. All right, so those are the ingredients. And let me get cracking and show you exactly what I do. So first, I'm going to go ahead and put the pulp in my mixer here. Let me just turn this. And this is really, really important that you have one of these kinds of mixers, not the specific brand, but a mixer, because it makes all the difference in the world. So, and then what I do with my peppers is I put them through a smaller mixer. The only reason why I do this specifically is because if I put them in there, for me anyway, it takes a lot longer to grind this down into a nice puree, and then sometimes that doesn't even do the trick. And then if you end up doing it for too long, then it could be dangerous of heating it up for too much. So let's grind this up. Alright, now I just got finished blending all the peppers, and I want to show you what it looks like and the texture that I prefer it to be. The reason why this is because when you break it down into the mixer, it really should be as mixed as possible, because you don't want big chunks in your crackers. All right. So now I'm going to put this to the side because this is actually something I'm going to add in last. Now I'm going to put all my powders, all my dry ingredients first. That way it blends all together and all the flavors really mix into the pulp. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I powder up my raw pumpkin seeds. And this thing is really good. This coffee grinder, man, it works really well. So if you don't have one, I highly recommend it. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's crazy. And so what I did was I already have some grinded up here, so I'm just going to add it in here. And then just put the rest of this in here. Alright, and then I'm going to put my dried tomato flakes, and I also grind this in the coffee grinder. Now this, I would, pulp it a little bit just because, or pulse it, because it will stick. The reason why I like this is because it's really, really fresh. I mean, you can't find something like this, at least not that I'm aware of, in the stores. So getting fresh grounded peppers, I think was a good, I'm sorry, tomatoes was a good plus for this recipe. Alright, and then I also have my pepper flakes. Alright, this is also something I wanted to have as fresh as possible, and so I just put that in there too, and then, you know, crush it up as best as possible. It's harder to ground this stuff up the less that's in there. So it might have been a good idea to mix it in with the other stuff, but alright. Okay, then that's in there, and then we got our Celtic salt, and then the onion powder. Alright, and now we're ready to just mix this. Here we go. And all I do is just make sure that it's all getting grounded up really nicely and mixed in. And you can kind of see how it's all pretty much blending in real nicely right there. And just give this another spin. I think that's good. Alright, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my peppers, my red peppers in here.